Yeah, totally. I love house hacking, and that's how I started back in 2019. Lowest barrier to entry for investing. I started back in San Diego, high cost of living area. Me and my wife, we were maybe like 3 months married, and we decided to start house hacking. My realtor at the time was like, yeah, you just rent out the other unit because we bought a duplex in San Diego. Rent out the other unit, rent out a bedroom in your home, and you can cut your mortgage in half. And I was already stoked to cut my mortgage in half.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Ian Jimeno, is a single-family investor and realtor in Denver. You can check him out on YouTube on his channel, Invest in Denver with Ian. Ian, welcome to the show.
Stoked for it. Dylan, appreciate you, man.
Thanks for hopping on here. And I was mentioning to you before we started the podcast that you've got a great channel. And if I want to know exactly which neighborhoods in Denver to check out, I should check out the Platt Street and Central Street area of Denver.
That's definitely one of them. And it will depend on your goals and your strategy, what you want to experience in the Denver area. But yeah, I love that area. But I appreciate you taking some time to watch my stuff, man.
Absolutely, man. I've got really a lot of respect for any investor agents, because I know as an investor-friendly agent myself, it's a different side of the business, right? So you've got your retail agents, which I would say is most folks, and then you've got folks who work with investors. How did you get into the investing world?
Yeah, totally. I love house hacking, and that's how I started back in 2019. Lowest barrier to entry for investing. I started back in San Diego, high cost of living area. Me and my wife, we were maybe like 3 months married, and we decided to start house hacking. My realtor at the time was like, yeah, you just rent out the other unit because we bought a duplex in San Diego. Rent out the other unit, rent out a bedroom in your home, and you can cut your mortgage in half. And I was already stoked to cut my mortgage in half when my mortgage at the time was about $5,300 per month. And that was significant. None of my friends were buying homes. They were all renting or living with their parents still. And I was like, dude, I want to bank on this real estate asset class here. And lo and behold, here we are still holding on to the property. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself here. It's been a journey holding onto the property, but it has definitely paid itself in dividends. So house hacking is how I really started.
House hacking, I love it. And when we talk about house hacking, there's a number of different ways to go about it. I know a lot of people have told me, hey, just buy a quadplex, or not just buy a quadplex, but buy a quadplex. Because if you're going to get 2, you might as well get 4. How would you advise folks who may be newer investors or new investors and are looking into getting their first house hack?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, totally. First of all, educate yourself. And a podcast like this is a great way to start. And also be around people that have done it, have done things that you have wanted to do. So let's say for me, I had no idea what house hacking was. My realtor didn't even know at the time, like what house hacking was. That term itself was just not in his vocabulary. He was just like, rent out rooms and you can make a lot of money from it, because San Diego is a very attractive place for the business owner, for renters, all that good stuff. So for those that are trying to get into house hacking, educate yourself, but enough to make yourself dangerous. There's only so much learning that you can do. The best thing you could do is just get into it. And me putting down 3.5% using an FHA loan to get into a duplex in San Diego was probably the lowest barrier to entry without me being a veteran. So I'd say go into it. You're going to learn so much more from actually doing it and make a lot more money from owning an asset class like real estate.
Now, did you house hack a single family home and rent out the individual rooms in the home?
I bought a duplex, and so it was a 3-bed, 2-bath, and also a studio on top of the garage. And so what we did was rented out one of the rooms, the master bedroom and the primary, the 3-bed, 2-bath. And then we also rented out the studio. So we made about $1,200 for that primary bedroom and the 3-bed, 2-bath. And then we made about $1,600 on the studio. So about $2,800 per month was what we were getting.
You know, it's a great way to get, it really is a great way to get started. And I've heard some mixed feedback. I've heard about being able to buy one of these deals. I've heard from a number of guests who were lenders that in many cases, it's actually easier to qualify for a small multifamily duplex, triplex, quadplex than it is a single family.
Yeah, I believe it. We did not incorporate any sort of rental income potential on the purchase of our duplex. Maybe that is on our fault, because we didn't even know that was even a possibility for lenders to actually qualify you based on the rental income. We were just happy we were able to qualify. So I think for future buyers and house hackers out there, the right lender and the right realtor will get you very far. If you're working with the wrong people, you'll sort of be limited by their knowledge base and what they are capable of.
Now, I do want to pivot a bit here and ask you some granular questions about Denver. I've been, and I mentioned this to you before the show, I've been to Denver once when I was a kid on a vacation. We went on a skiing trip, and that's where my knowledge of Denver sort of begins and ends. But Denver is an amazing area. It's an amazing destination for so many reasons, the weather being one of them. Do you see that there are any trends in the single family space as far as maybe short-term rentals or mid-term, long-term? Are there investors coming from out of state? What are you seeing out there in the market?
Yeah, 100%. And I've sort of made this pivot as a real estate agent to niche down into assumable loans. And maybe that's something we could talk about later. But yeah, as far as like single family homes, it's still very attractive for investors to purchase here, especially when some of my clients are coming from California. Like they're looking at a median home price in the Bay Area or in San Diego at $950,000 to $1 million plus. And they're like, this is insane. We can't really have our money deployed here as a wise option for investing. So what we're going to do is look in a place where they bank on the employers being here. The people that are graduating college are staying here in the Denver metro area, and maybe even Boulder or Fort Collins or even Colorado Springs, plus a strong military presence in Colorado Springs as well, which is where I service as a realtor, Denver metro and Colorado Springs.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors. and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So, as far as the attractiveness, it comes in many different fronts. And there's a huge healthcare system here as well. Lots of hospitals, tons of growth, and a lot of employers are staying here as well. And of course, it's just lovely to be here. I mean, compared to, let's say, the Northeast or even Midwest, where you get -20 consistently during the wintertime, here you're averaging maybe 20 degrees, 30 degrees, but it's sort of this dry weather, this dry coldness, this chill to it. Of course, it takes some getting used to with being the high altitude, but at the same time, the snow is dry. It's beautiful. It feels like a Hallmark card. So I love Denver here.
So the winters don't get horribly cold?
Not horrible, honestly. And after working with clients that have moved here, they swear by it. They're like, oh, this is a breeze. I don't want to say they go out in shirts and shorts here, but they're a little bit more maniacal in their attire versus me. I'm still bundled up. I still got my scarf. I still got my beanies on, but they love the weather here compared to where they're from, let's say Buffalo, New York, or
Yeah.
even Ohio.
That's a big draw. I had no idea that it was. I guess I in the back of my mind, I've seen folks like skiing in shorts. Maybe that's in happens out there. But uh, what's interesting when we talk about single family investing specifically, you mentioned, if I heard correctly, assumable loans, right?
That's right.
This is a space where right now there's a lot of interest. I'm not just seeing it in single family, I'm also seeing it in multifamily. When did you start looking at this strategy, and how's it been going for you?
Yeah, the strategy is very enticing, especially for my clients that are just bogged down with the 6.5, 7% interest rates as investors. Here we are providing a service and a strategy where they can assume a 2.5 or even 3% loans. I like to tell them they're traveling back in time, back in 2020 or 2021, when the height of the markets with everyone looked like a genius putting down like 50K, 100K over asking price just so that they can attain property with 2.5 to 3% interest rates. I got into it recently because as a real estate agent, I originally started with the FI team with Craig Kurlop. He wrote the house hacking book. And with being on that team, I loved helping out new investors, new homeowners, and making sure things were affordable for them. And as time progressed, once we started to see 4, 5, 6, 7% interest rates, that goal of like living for free or living as close to free as possible was a much harder pitch. And so here we are in a world where we can still pick up properties for let's say $600,000, and it's sort of been hovering around that price point, that median price point of 600K within the Denver metro area. But now instead of 6.5%, we're getting 2.5 or 3%. And that just makes things so much more affordable for homeowners who are just constantly bombarded with things are unaffordable, the cost of living is going up. And it's just insane for me to pitch that as a traditional buyer. I want them to get into a home if that is so what they desire.
When we talk about the assumable loan space, right? I'm familiar with working in distressed sellers and with investors. But it's interesting talking to a fellow realtor about potentially using this for more deals than maybe what traditionally people would be looking at. Am I onto something in saying that you're bringing this strategy to maybe more of the general public than just specifically the investor niche?
100%. Yes. So there are two types of loans that people can assume. It's the VA loan and FHA loan. We don't really encounter too much USDA loans, but those are assumable as well. So for the primary residence owner who wants to move into the property, FHA loans are great. I mean, you could just move into the property. The thing is, you do have to pay for the equity that is in the property for the seller to move on to their next one. So for primary residences, you look for an FHA loan, and then you also have the VA loan where investors or primary residence owners can purchase those or assume those types of loans as well. So you don't have to be a veteran to take over those VA loans. We do have our ways of going about it and having that conversation with the listing agent. So it's just, yeah, it's a whole world out there. And I recently got into this maybe 5-ish months ago, and
Wow.
I am all in on it.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Now, without giving away all the gold, Ian, for other realtors, myself, and then folks who may work with investors or they may not, what would be your feedback for how to breach this conversation with retail buyers, right? They may not have in their head at all that this is a possibility. Do they have to know something about this beforehand? How does that conversation sound, again, without giving away all the gold?
Yeah, appreciate that. The main thing is education. Like, not many people, I think the last time assumable loans were actually in the proper media, popular media, was like back in the 80s. And I was not really conscious in the 80s. So, with that being a resurfacing idea here in the 2020s, it is so attractive for buyers just because they don't know that this is a thing. So what we're trying to do as realtors is just educate the public. And we have a website that has FHA loans, VA loans, all these assumable loans that are on the MLS right now that are active. And so with that, they get to see what their PITI is, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, basically their mortgage, and how that would differ than if you were to purchase it traditionally in this market. So there's a lot of education that has to happen, and we are here for you. You know, we're walking through this transaction hand in hand with our clients and making sure that they understand the whole process, and the lender of the assumable loan is with us the whole way as well. It's not like it's anything illegal. This is definitely legal, and it is within our confines of legalities to assume this loan.
I think it's great, especially bringing it to the retail buyers, because as far as investors, I understand that there could be as someone who's worked with investors, that people can have a perception about investors that may not always be true. There may be some grains of truth in there. But when you're talking about retail buyers being able to get rates that they don't exist, this is something that more people need to look at, because it's going to open the door to home ownership for more people. And that's something that I think everybody is on board for. We are coming up on time here, though, Ian. Where can folks go to reach out to you if they're in the Denver area? Maybe they're looking at homes, or if they're outside of the Denver metro and are thinking about investing.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for giving me the plug. Definitely check out my YouTube channel. It's Invest in Denver with Ian. And I do a lot of lifestyle videos. I do house hacking videos like home tours, also assumable loan tours, things like that. And just educating the public on that, and more specifically within the Denver metro area. I'm also pretty active on my Instagram, which is ian.househacker. And I love to do more house hacking content and more video tours on there. And you get to peep into my personal life as well. I'm a recent dad, so I like to post a lot of pictures about my experiences as a new dad, especially with lack of sleep. So enjoy me and my content over on those platforms.
Ian, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Dylan.
Thanks for joining us for today's show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing on your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. You can also check out the show's notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and even how to work with me directly one-on-one. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. See you on the next show.